Hey everyone, today I am going to be doing another silencer video for you guys. It's been a while since we did the last one, however this one has been in the works for a really long time. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys the Bushwhacker 46 from Griffin Armament. Now this is one that kind of falls into that category of the almost literally do everything silencer. This is one that you can shoot just about anything through. Being a 46 caliber, I can do things like 45-70 like the Henry I have here in front of you. So far today we've shot it on 6.5 Creedmoor, 300 blackout, 5.56 and 9mm in addition to this 45-70, and obviously it can handle quite a bit more. I'll actually take the side of the screen and at least list the calibers it lists for its rating. Obviously that is not an exclusive list. Needless to say, this thing can handle quite a bit of calibers out there, and it actually does some things really well that I like, and I'll hopefully be able to articulate to you in this video. So I'll go ahead and roll in some of the shooting footage I've got with this thing, and then we'll dig a little bit deeper into this can. And in the interest of full disclosure, I did not pay for the silencer. However, I did not work with Griffin Armament in any way to test this thing out. This one was sent to me by Silencer Shop to do the review. Basically, they send me suppressors for about 2-week increments. I test them out, do the review, and then I send it back. So it's a nice system so that I'm not having to directly interact with a company. Not that it would change my objectivity when I'm testing a silencer like this, but it just helps keep that level of separation so that I can really give an unbiased opinion without having to worry about insulting anyone at a company that just sent me their product. So it's a nice system, and that's how I've been doing most of my reviews on silencers. So, but anyway, just to get that out of the way. One of the nice things about this suppressor is the different ways that you can actually mount this to a gun. Now, I did have the opportunity to test this, like I said, on a wide variety of guns, as you saw hopefully from some of that footage. But I was able to do it very easily with some of the attachment systems that I already have on guns for other suppressors. You guys know, if you've been watching my suppressor reviews, I'm a big fan of YHM. I have several of their silencers right now, and so a lot of the guns that I personally own have the YHM quick disconnect muzzle devices on it, and I was kind of dreading having to take all those muzzle devices off those guns just to be able to thread muzzle devices for the Griffin Armament. However, due to the universal threading that more and more silencer companies are adopting for the actual body of the suppressor, I was able to attach my YHM QD system to this and just run it on all the guns that I already had equipped. So you can run the dead air key mount muzzle devices if you want. Really, there's no shortage of options. You can run the Silencer Co. ASR mounts, or you can run the Griffin Armament taper mounts, which are another really good option. Or like I have here on this 4570, you can direct thread it on. Now, this 4570, the X model from Henry, I've got a whole video on this rifle, is a 5/8 by 24 thread pitch, which, as many of you know, is the standard 30 cal thread pitch. If I put a 30 cal muzzle device on a 4570, I'm gonna have a bad time. I'm pretty sure someone out there knows what that is like. So by doing like the direct threads, I can now shoot, you know, whatever size bullet out of that as I want, as long as it's within that 46 caliber out the front. Now, you could, if you wanted to, change out your end caps. However, I've never been a big proponent of that. I feel like if I do that, I'm inevitably going to have a 9mm end cap on it when I shoot 45-70 through it, or I'm going to have a 223 end cap on it when I shoot 308 through it. I just figure I'm going to run it with the 46 diameter end cap and just rock it that way. And I can say it's been pretty effective on all of the guns that I've shot it on thus far. Now, this is a fairly large can. I'll have the specs for size and weight and everything here on the side. However, looks can be deceiving because while this is a very large suppressor, it is surprisingly lightweight. So I had my 4570 with me at work today, and I handed it to quite a few people with the suppressor attached, obviously not with the ammo on board, because I don't trust people. And a lot of them were really surprised when they grabbed it how little weight this adds on to the end of it. I can really hold this up in my shoulder, you know, even with my arm way out here for quite a while, and it's surprisingly manageable even on the end of long guns. I was shooting my 6.5 Creedmoor offhand, and you know, I've got a lot of weight on that gun, and it has held up really well as far as like how much torture I'm putting myself through by having this on the end of a gun, which again is not what I expected when I saw a large kind of universal can like some other ones that I've tested. Now, another thing that you can do is run a booster piston on this thing if you want to run it on a handgun. Now, unfortunately I only had one handgun out with me today, and it's a brand new Glock 45. I've got a couple hundred rounds through it so far, but I just put a brand new threaded barrel in it, and this is the first time I've shot it with that threaded barrel. So I did run into some cycling issues with the subsonic 150 grain Federal Syntec ammo. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of ammo options out with me today. It was just not fully cycling. Sometimes it was failing to pick up a round, and sometimes it wasn't locking open, so it just didn't seem to have enough energy. I ran some 124 grain Full Metal Jacket through it, and it ate that stuff no problem whatsoever. So I think it could be a break-in thing with that barrel, because you know, if you don't have experience with threaded barrels, sometimes fitment can be a little tight. But again, I can't speak too much more to it. Yeah, I think it was just the ammo that I was having issues with. I've seen it run on other guns, so there's plenty of other reviews out there that you can watch that are going to talk about that, but for what it's worth, I ran into cycling issues with the super heavy low recoil stuff, but with the full power NATO spec stuff, it ran fine. Now, where it really shined for me today was again on this 4570. I have some hand-loaded projectiles here. These are 405 grain Acme coated lead bullets, and it was really pleasant shooting it through this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to some footage of that right now, just so you can experience it along with me. All right, so we just did some shooting. What I'm going to go ahead and do is talk right now, and then I'm also going to dry fire this just so you can get a comparison on noise. And then just for reference, I picked the largest bay that I could as far as not having much to bounce the sound back. There is a kind of hill of trees. I'll probably show you a better angle here. The berm is just at about 50 yards away from me, and then I've got a hillside here with large trees and berms on either side that would be reflecting the sound back at me. So I've got an empty chamber right now. I'm not going to change my audio settings at all, and I want you to be able to hear just how pleasant this thing is to shoot. Okay, so that's the sound of dry firing. Yeah, that's awesome. By far the loudest noise. You can, because these are big flat point 405 grain bullets that these are Acme bullets that I hand loaded. You can hear them whizzing through the air because they're not super aerodynamic, and then the impact of the round into the berm is by far the loudest noise. So as you saw, it was way hearing safe with the subsonic ammo going through this in the 4570. Again, by far the loudest noise was the impact into the berm, and you could definitely hear the bullets traveling through air just because of how not aerodynamic they are. So it was really satisfying, and it did well with the other calibers also. With the 300 Blackout, it did really well. I was shooting some, again, hand-loaded subsonic ammo, although seemed to be kind of bouncing around supersonic and subsonic, so I got to fine-tune that a little bit. But when it was subsonic, way hearing safe. Supersonic, you're gonna still get the crack. So honestly, it performed better than I expected, and with 5.56, I was shooting it on a 12-inch barrel, just under 12-inch barrel, and I was shooting with hearing protection because I want to protect my hearing, and it's still going to be loud. So don't expect it to be hearing safe on a 5.56. It is going to take that edge off though, and be better than no suppressor on it, but I still think that a dedicated 5.56 can would probably do a little bit better. That being said, the internal volume on this thing is pretty significant, so you're still gonna get reasonable suppression. If you want to know the deep nitty-gritty numbers, Griffin Armament does a really good job of testing their suppressors, especially all the new stuff for the last couple of years. So I'll definitely reference you to their YouTube channel so that you can really see the breakdown. I'll have the video breakdown of this can in the description down below, and maybe linked at the end of this video, just so you guys can see those nitty-gritty numbers for yourself. They test it at a bunch of different positions, and they do a really good job of testing, so definitely check that out if you want to know the real numbers and how it actually breaks down, other than just my subjective experience here. Now really, I only scratched the surface as far as what this can is capable of. Again, I've only tested it on 5 guns out here today in different calibers, and there's a lot more that this thing is capable of, you know, 308, 300 Win Mag, etc., etc. However, ammo is, you know, it is the way it is right now, hence why I'm shooting a lot of hand loads. But really, I have to say I was impressed by this thing. Now, is it going to replace every suppressor you own? No, there are going to be suppressors that are purpose-built for certain tasks that it's going to be better than others. However, this one gives you a lot of versatility that is hard to find on the market right now. And especially one cool thing that they have, if you're into Thompson submachine guns or the semi-auto counterparts of those, they actually make a cuts compensator mount for this can so that you can attach it directly to your Thompson without having to modify it. They've got a lot of footage of that on their YouTube channel too. Just a cool option, something different that, you know, a lot of people aren't trying to do. So I really like what Griffin Armament is up to. Every can that I've tested from them has been a really solid, good suppressor. I have plenty of friends that own their suppressors, and they've all been happy with them. And again, just the nice thing is you're not locked into their ecosystem because of that universal thread pitching back here. I can use, again, the muzzle devices that I already have, or if you're just getting into it fresh, you can pick the suppressor mount system that you prefer and just go from there, or even try a couple out, because again, they'll all work here. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and throw that in the comment section down below. If you have experience with this silencer that you think is worth sharing, which if you have any experience, trust me, it's worth sharing, because again, the way ammo is, I have limited exposure to this guy. It's also going to let people get a more diverse experience set. So I appreciate it if you have experience sharing that down below. I want to say thanks to my patrons for helping make a video like this one possible. Well, Silencer Shop did send me the silencer to be able to do the review on it. Again, I would not be able to put any of the ammo I did downrange today if it wasn't for the support I'm getting over there. It's a very small community of us over there, so I try to do as much as I can for the guys over there. So we do some exclusive content over there. We have I post all my content over there early. We do live streams. We have a Discord server, yada yada yada. If any of that sounds appealing, or you just want to financially support the channel, definitely head over to my Patreon page. But anyway, with that being said, all that out of the way, I hope you got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.